There's wind and light rain outside, and it gives me the perfect opportunity to talk about life. I'm in the middle of nowhere, but I am with my own self. Solitude is pretty important in life. You might think that solitude is linked with being alone, but it's not really the case. See, being alone is a different thing than enjoying your own company and finding the answers in solitude. And I recommend everybody to practice a bit of solitude in their lives. If you're with a lot of people, if your job requires you to be with a lot of people, it is crucial for you to have these moments with yourself where you're just by yourself. Solitude has really changed my life. I used to think that I needed to be involved and needed to be in the presence of a lot of people all the time. But being alone, sitting with my own feelings, sitting with my own thoughts, processing all the emotions, and being okay with sitting with all that I've got inside of me. I realized all of it is pretty damn powerful. And now when I look back at life, at the times when I wanted to be in complete presence around a lot of people, now when I look back, I can only find myself being in peace in solitude more than when I'm hanging around, even with the closest of the people. And this is the beauty of being alone with your own self. People are going. People are looking at me while driving around because I'm sitting in my car in the middle of nowhere. All you can see around is pure land, bit of greenery, and just no buildings inside, only the greenery, vegetation all around me. And I find it pretty damn serene and calming. I know. I know it could be hard for you to sit with your own feelings and sit with your own thoughts because of how long you've stayed in the presence and the company of a lot of people. But I urge you, and more than that, I insist you to take only 10 minutes from your day, from your life, to really see the benefits of this powerful thing called solitude. And I can assure you, it'll change your life for the better. It has surely changed my life. With solitude, I'm not saying to ponder over the past and to be filled with regret, to look at your past as this sorrow type of memory that sinks you in the deepest trenches of depression. But what I'm trying to tell you is that all the answers you're trying to seek externally, all of those can be found when you sit in silence. That is the power of solitude. And at first, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be difficult to sit and process all the past memories, the emotional burdens you've gone through, the burdens and emotional scars that you need to reface when you sit with yourself and reflect back on the past. All of it is hard, but give yourself only 5 to 10 minutes per day, and that will build up the momentum that will allow you to process even more things that have been clogging you, that have been draining you, that have been becoming this shackle, this mental shackle that acts like a burden on your shoulders and that puts you down, holds you back from your potential. And once you see the benefits of solitude, once you remain in the presence, in the now, within yourself alone, notice the quietness, notice the silence all around me. Only then you can learn to think straight. You know the famous analogy of the calm river. I'll give you the same analogy. See, your mind is like this calm lake, not even a river, because a river flows. Think of your mind as this calm lake or a calm pond where the water is still. If you throw a bunch of rocks, heavy rocks, these are the burdens, these emotional burdens in your life. All of these past memories. If you throw these into the pond, notice what happens. The water begins to shake. The entire environment of the water is now startled. The peace it once had, it's now taken away because of these rocks. And the same goes with your mind. If you let all these stones get thrown inside of your mind, if you let all these heavy rocks topple over and fall over inside this calm, serene water, then this water body, it'll startle, it'll ripple, and the peace it once had will be long gone. And you see the ripples, it take time to settle down into this calming effect back where the water body is nothing but still. And it takes time. The same goes with your mind. You've allowed all of these rocks, all of these stones to be filled inside this peaceful container, which was once peaceful, called your mind. And it is only once you sit in silence, alone by yourself, embodying and enjoying the benefits of solitude, it is only then you start to see things with more clarity. Now, I've made a video separately on how to think with clarity, because I think in this day and age, with the boom of this TikTok, with this social media and constant bombardment of distractions all around us, we tend to lack this clarity, which propels us in a lot of the areas in our life. Clarity is the number one thing that aids in our growth. Also as a person, also as a businessman, also in our career, whatever you're doing. And solitude is one of those ways where you can seek clarity, immense clarity. Just sit alone with your own self in your own car. Close all the doors, close the windows, sit in silence. And if you're starting out, sit for 2 minutes only. And you can see your mind starting to adopt this stillness, which is absent from your mind. There's wind outside. It's extremely peaceful. I'm so grateful. And you'll find yourself recollecting all of the potential that you had with this immense clarity, where you can also reflect back on your past in a way where you can really pinpoint that nothing was at fault. It was just your way of thinking that was scattered, that was sporadic, which is why your thinking allowed all these past memories to become this clog in the machine, in a way where it was holding you back, putting burden upon your shoulder, in a way where you couldn't really operate with your full potential. I can already feel this peace of mind and this stillness, this beautiful thing I can't even explain. Some sort of sorcery, it's one kind of superpower, and I can feel it in my heart because of the stillness that I'm in right now. The silence is beautiful. People tend to run away from these silence moments and from silence altogether because they can't face their own selves. Forgive yourself first. Only then you can move to the next step and really sit with peace with your own self. I remember back in the days when I used to hate myself completely, and I was being really hard on myself. And I had all these issues. I was filled with ego, filled with this pride. My heart was filled with hatred towards other people. Envy and jealousy got the best of me back then. And I couldn't sit alone with my own self until I learned to forgive myself. And that is the first step that you need to take, to look in the mirror and say to yourself, I get it, but it's okay, and I forgive yourself. Take a good look in the mirror. Look at yourself, look at both your eyes. One first, the right eye first, and then the other. Then look through these eyes towards the soul and say to it that I forgive you with all of my heart, and that I am willing to change, to seek the truth. And only then you freed yourself from these problems, these issues that are stopping you from sitting alone with your own feelings and emotions and thoughts, and then enjoy this newfound way of living. I reflect back on my past way too often. I look back to all the mistakes that I've made, and I give myself feedback. And it allows me to really judge and analyze every situation I was in, to really reverse engineer what I could have done without staying in the past, without staying stuck in the past, because that leads to regret. But instead, drive all the lessons that I've gained and give myself this feedback. And this feedback I then apply in my future self, where I don't make the same mistake And I strive to really avoid the mistakes I had made in the past. And solitude allows me to really hone in this reflective session. Because back then I used to see solitude as something that bites me, that is really intense. But now solitude is a way for me to reflect back on my past self, gain all the lessons by giving myself the feedback. Because you are the best source of feedback, and you shouldn't take any feedback from anybody that you don't want to switch lives from anybody apart from your own self, because you know yourself more than anybody else. So take this moment, forgive yourself, learn to sit alone, reflect back, analyze, give yourself the feedback, drive all the lessons, then use these lessons to instill and to operate in your future with operated the best operating system. Because now you've got this data. It's just like business. You do something, now you need to iterate and innovate, and you need data to really dive into what you need to innovate and how you can do things better. And this data is feedback, which is derived purely from self-reflection, and the best form of self-reflection is nothing but solitude. Take care of yourself.